I dig my nails into the steering wheel, annoyed because I've been in the car so long. This is definitely not how I want to spend winter break. It's 2 days before Christmas, and I'm driving my SUV from college in Burlington to Stowe Mountain. Driving's not the best description, though. Inching. At slow speed. Because there's a massive storm underway. Measured in feet, not inches. A nor'easter. Blizzard. Snowmageddon. It's taken me 3 hours to drive 40 miles, and I still have my doubts whether I'll actually make it. Why can't my Florida family love palm trees and beaches in December? Why does it have to be snow and mountains every year? The phone burbles over the car speaker. The dashboard screen flashes the word MOM, and I stab a button on the wheel. Mom. Oh my God. Mom. It's so bad here. The snow is crazy, I squeal. Are you driving? A muffled series of thuds crackle over the speaker. Yeah. Still. It's been hours in this blizzard. A lifetime. You there? Caleb. Mom's voice is distant. She's calling for Dad. Honey, she's driving. In that storm. She's a Florida girl in the wilderness in Vermont. Mom, I'm barely going 5 miles an hour. There's nowhere to pull over other than a snow bank. I'm in a traffic jam on Route 100. I haven't seen this many cars here since that moose stood in the middle of the road that summer we came here for a yoga retreat. Sweetheart. My dad's low rumble fills the car. Are you sure you shouldn't stop for a bit? Get a bite to eat? I'm fine, Dad. I'm close. Maybe the lodge at the resort will be open for dinner. When are you guys getting here? Mom makes a little strangled squeak. She and I have the same voice and make the same squealy noises. It's genetic, like how we're both height challenged and have curly dark hair and the need to wax our upper lips every 10 days. We share some non-DNA traits, too. We're both vegetarians. We think reading should be an Olympic sport. She also instilled in me a love of champagne. Dad's sigh is loud. We're getting ready to head to the airport now, pumpkin. Supposed to meet Raphael, Justine, Uncle Colin, and Aunt Samantha. The pilot's not sure if he can get us there, though. The storm's that bad. I let out an indignant noise. Wouldn't it have been easier if I flew to Florida for Christmas? Maybe I could still get a flight. I doubt it. My stomach tightens. Wait. Back up. Raphael and Justine. Are their kids coming, too? I grunt as I listen to Mom and Dad's hushed voices. They're debating something and not answering my question, so I assume the answer is yes. I've known Alex, Alba, and Oliver my whole life. Their parents are best friends with my parents. Alex is a handsome pro soccer player, and Alba is a smart as hell marine biologist. They're like the older siblings I never had as an only child. And their youngest, Oliver, is the one who's closest in age to me. 2 years older. He graduated with an economics degree from NYU, interned at a shipping company in Panama for a year, and now he's at MIT in Boston. Getting an MBA. He's also the owner of the sleepiest, sexiest, most soulful near black eyes I've ever seen. I sigh out loud. We haven't seen each other since high school, and that fact hurts my heart a little. Okay, more than a little. Starting in middle school, I'd harbored a massive, secret crush on Oliver Menendez. I'm not a shy person, but for reasons I've never figured out, I didn't possess the courage back then to tell him how I felt. At one point, I thought the feelings were mutual. But I was dead wrong. So the possibility of seeing him leaves me cold. As cold as the ice on these roads. Mom. Dad. The phone on my parents' end makes a dull clunk. The sound of footsteps grows louder. Charlotte. You there? Dad asks in a hushed voice. I am, Dad. I'm in my office now. I had to step away from your mom. Despite the blasting heat in the car, a chill goes through me. Why? Do you have news? I wanted to talk to you in private. About this vacation. We would have had you come to Florida, but your mother wanted everyone together. Vermont was her idea. You. Me. Uncle Colin. Her friends. Everyone that she loves. Dad's voice is low and shaky. Let's make this the best Christmas ever. For her. Oh God, Dad. I didn't know. Now I'm almost in tears. Usually he organized our winter vacation because he was the skier in the family. Mom and I preferred to snooze, read, and drink cocoa by the closest fireplace. What did the doctor say? I'd unsuccessfully tried to push this situation with Mom out of my mind for the last couple of weeks during finals. She hasn't called. Your mother's in a quiet panic, and I'm about to make another call to the specialist's office. I can tell Dad's patience has run out by the tense, strangled tone to his voice. He hates to wait. Hopefully the doctor hasn't left for the holidays, and we'll have news before we leave. I swallow a lump in my throat. Wouldn't they have called if something was really wrong? I mean, she had that abnormal mammogram last month. They wouldn't make her wait, would they? One would assume they'd act quickly if something was wrong. I hear the tapping of a pen on a hard surface, something he does when he's thoroughly annoyed. I've done all I can to hustle the situation along. Look, I should go and call before we get on the road. You need to be careful while driving. I'm serious. The car in front of me moves, and my foot feathers the gas pedal. Now I feel like crap for whining. It's just that I want to see you and Mom. I have presents for you both. I bought Mom that dog woodcut print from Stephen Hunneck I was telling you about. The one that says, "Love is give and take." The one with the black labs. Can't you fly commercial? Wouldn't it be easier? If the airports are closed, they're closed to commercial and private planes. We'll know our flight status soon enough. And you know Mom wants to bring Harry. So we have to take the jet. Harry's her black lab. The inspiration for my gift. Next to my dad and me, the love of her life. We're doing the best we can, Charlotte. Trust me. I guess this means you'll get in late. Or tomorrow morning. Okay. I can deal with that. No problem. I'll just chill at the cabin and read. Watch TV. Mom's voice comes into the background. Caleb, what are you doing in here? Are you still talking to Charlotte? More clunks and shuffles of the phone crackle through the car. Charlotte, did you get the lock code for the cabin? I emailed, but you didn't respond. I did, Mom. And I thought I responded. Perhaps you did, I've been distracted this week. No, I'm distracted, I say quickly, trying to distract her. Jesus. We're a jumble of distraction and awkwardness. If Mom's really sick, how are we going to cope? The answer, we probably won't. Well, I won't, at least. Dad murmurs something to Mom, words I can't quite make out. She giggles and says his name in a mock-chiding way. He's probably grabbing her butt or something, trying to take her mind off everything. Or he's just being affectionate. Even when they're not faced with a medical crisis or snowmageddon, they're like newlyweds. It used to gross me out as a teenager. Now I think it's kind of cool that my parents still adore each other. Although it does leave me gutted at times because I assume I'll never find a love like theirs. We'll call soon. As soon as we know when we're leaving, sweetheart. Take it easy while driving, Dad calls out. Drive safe, call when you get there, Mom coos. I poke the button on the steering wheel. The roads opened up and traffic's gone. 3 miles to go. 3 miles to think about what will happen if Mom has cancer. She's too young for this. Only 56. A successful bookstore owner. Dad's soulmate. My best friend. She needs to be there for me when I decide what to do with my life. When I get my first real job. When I get married. If I get married, which is unlikely given the crop of guys I've met these 4 years in college. The thick feeling in the back of my throat is back, and when I pull onto the road into the ski resort, I shudder in a breath. When I park next to the big chalet, my cheeks are wet, and I wipe them with the sleeves of my sweater. I'm like Mom in one other way, too. I'm super emotional and have no problem with showing my feelings in public. Uncle Colin calls Mom and me empaths. Aunt Sarah rolls her eyes and says we're both drama queens. I hope Aunt Sarah, Aunt Laura, and their son are coming. I'd forgotten to ask about them. Sarah's my mom's best friend, and Laura's my dad's sister. They always make Mom laugh. I hope they're already here. The idea of having a proper cocktail, like an adult, with Aunt Sarah, lifts my mood a notch. She probably already has a whiskey-spiked hot toddy mixture warming in a crockpot. I climb out of the SUV and almost immediately lose my footing on the snow-covered icy driveway. It's my fault for wearing impractical, knee-high vegan leather boots with heels, but they looked awesome with my white, thigh-high stockings and my lacy, cream-colored boho dress. I slip on a matching tan vegan leather jacket and hoist my duffel bag out of the back. Not the best attire for a blizzard, but whatever. It's super cute. I did remember to wear my fuzzy rose-colored scarf. No small feat for a Florida girl who's never gotten used to New England winters. My exhale forms a puffy white vapor cloud in the cold winter air. It's December 23rd, one of the shortest days of the year. At 4:30 in the afternoon, it's almost as dark as if it's midnight. Tottering up to the giant slopeside cabin, I wonder how many people are joining us. The bag weighs heavy on my arm. Maybe I shouldn't have brought all this crap. I make a mental note to change into my flat, faux fur boots so I won't kill myself when I come back to grab the rest of my stuff. When I get to the front door, I let the duffel bag plop to the ground and fish my smartphone out of my pocket as I do a full-body shiver, like a dog. It's snowing like crazy, really coming down now. Where's Mom's email with the code? Could have sworn it was right. Just then, the heavy wood door flings open. I'm so startled by the tall, muscular figure on the other side that I gasp and step back, my heels skidding on the ice-slick walkway. As I fall on my ass, I realize who it is. Him. Looking sexy as all hell in an oatmeal-colored Henley that clings to his biceps. And gray sweatpants that hug all the right places. Well. Oliver Menendez sure has grown up. Oh hey. I'm trying to be nonchalant, as if I just plopped down on the ground, legs splayed. The ice and fluffy snow numbs my ass cheeks. Whoa. You okay? Oliver holds out his hand, and I take it. When my skin touches his, I'm instantly warm all over. He smells exactly the same as he did when I last saw him. Like freshly laundered clothes, Florida sun, and a drop of dangerous, spicy musk man smell that never fails to make my insides melt. Yeah, I'm fine. I look up at him. Snowflakes have accumulated in his dark, unruly hair. Looking at him makes my heart bounce in my chest like a beach ball. My God, you've gotten taller. And bigger. He grins. It's that wide, lazy Oliver smile that I've seen practically since I was born. Oh, shit. That smile never affected me until I turned 14. After that, I couldn't get enough of his smile. Things have not changed one iota. Let's get inside, Sharky. He lets go of one of my hands but keeps a grip on my upper arm, obviously wanting to steer me inside without another tumble. That he remembers my childhood nickname. I used to love sharks, and the first syllable of my name is phonetically similar to the ocean predator makes me laugh. Thanks. I need to come out and get the rest of my stuff. I got it. We step inside the door and heat washes over me. Butterflies seem to have suddenly taken up residence in my stomach. You have more than that big duffel. His voice is low and growly. More manlike than I remember. Yeah. I do. There are 2 more suitcases in the back. I'll get them in a while. My eyes take in the cabin and land on a large stone fireplace, complete with crackling fire. We've never rented this place before, never had Christmas in Vermont before. It's way bigger than where we usually stay. I turn back to Oliver and am immediately captivated by his piercing eyes. My mind goes temporarily blank. I smile. He smiles. Give me your keys. I'll get the rest of your stuff. My brain powers back to life. Oh. You sure? I can help. I hand him the keys and our fingers touch. There's a zing and a zap. And the theme song to the electric company runs through my head. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Stay here and warm up. He flashes another brilliant smile and walks out. His butt looks incredible in those sweatpants. I don't think I'll need the fire to warm me up if I keep staring at him. Yikes. I walk around the large living room, checking out the massive Christmas tree in the corner that's done up in gold and red tones. That must be Mom's doing. I'm sure she called ahead and requested it, right down to the gilded angel on top. She's a detail person. The living room is bland in the way that all upscale homes are. There's a high wooden ceiling, a U-shaped sofa, and, wait. Red deer heads. Maybe it's not so bland. I tilt my head and study the 3 ridiculous heads attached above the stone fireplace. They're not real. In fact, they're plastic. Like pop art. They somehow look decent with the traditional decor. As if Andy Warhol created something for a ski lodge. That's when I spot a pillow on the massive console sofa. It says SKI Lodge in large red letters. I grin. Probably Mom chose this place because of those little touches. She likes the quirky and silly and will never pass up the absurdly ironic. The door slams shut, and I turn. Oliver's hauling my big suitcase, a smaller duffel, a backpack, and a large vegan leather purse into the living room. Oh, you don't have to carry all that. Thanks. I rush over to him and relieve him of the purse and the backpack. I expect him to comment on how I overpacked, because that's what guys do, make fun of women for insignificant crap. Might as well get this to your room. Odd. I never noticed how deep Oliver's voice was. Then again, I haven't seen him in 6 years. Which bedroom's mine? He shrugs. Whichever you want. There are 2 downstairs and 4 upstairs. They each have their own bath, and as far as I can tell, they're all about the same size. Big. I'm not picky. I'll just take one upstairs. Lead the way. Don't look at his ass, don't look at his ass, don't, oh hell. I'm going to look. Seeing Oliver's muscular frame reminds me of beaches and swimsuits and home. Even after 3.5 years at a Vermont college, I'm still homesick for Florida. Don't get me wrong, I love it here. Love the trees and the quiet and yeah, even the snow. But there's nothing like a handsome, half-naked, bronze man on the beach, am I right? Oliver pushes open a door, and we're inside a room decorated in shades of lavender and cream. There's a framed print of a cartoon dog on skis, which reminds me of the gift I bought for Mom. The bed is draped in a soft-looking lavender blanket. This okay? Oliver stands by a wide brown leather chair and matching footrest. Totally okay, yeah. I go to him and tug the duffel off his shoulder, realizing that I'm treating him like he's the bellhop or something. Which is hilarious and awkward because he's probably the richest guy in our home state of Florida under the age of 25. Thanks. You didn't have to do that. He shrugs and grins again. It's what I've always loved about Oliver, that even though he's from a wealthy family far wealthier than my own, he's humble, polite, kind. Which is what made our last encounter all the more baffling. We lock eyes, and a zing of awareness shoots through me. Oliver's part Cuban, from his dad's side. He obviously inherited the classic Spanish Caribbean DNA, dark hair, dark eyebrows, and bronze skin. His eyes are like obsidian, near black and gleaming, and when I was younger, I always felt I could get lost in them. Things haven't changed, apparently. I try to swallow, but my mouth is dry as burned toast. Thanks, I repeat. My gaze falters to the large bed, and then back to his eyes. Apparently, along with his height, his shoulders, and his muscles, his eyelashes have also grown since I last saw him. So. How's Boston? How's MIT? You're getting your master's right? Business? How was Panama? We haven't talked in so long. Panama? It was okay. Glad I'm back in the States. I'm in a finance program. It's, wow. He runs a hand through that thick dark hair. Hardest thing I've ever done. That must be saying something. You always aced every class you ever took. Even though we didn't go to the same schools. Oliver went to an all-boys private school in St. Augustine, hours from where I grew up. I was in public school in Orlando at the insistence of my mother. Still, I'd heard all about how brilliant he was from his sister. And my mother. And my father. And everyone who knew him. While his brother was the athlete and as handsome as any GQ model, Oliver took after his sister. All through school, he was wiry and beanpole tall. Awkward, too. I think in middle school, he might have even had a pocket protector for his pens, but he sprouted a veneer of geek cool in high school. And yet, I adored him as if he were Justin Timberlake. I stare at his chest without blinking. He chuckles. Can he tell I'm checking him out? Yeah, I look a little different. I've been going to the gym. Gah. Embarrassing. You look good. Understatement of the year. So do you. Thanks. My face blooms hot, and I inspect the strap of my duffel. When I raise my eyes, I notice he's staring at me. How's University of Vermont? Wait, don't answer that. He takes a step back in the direction of the door. Sorry. I should let you do your thing in here. Unpack and stuff. He points to the door, and I see a subtle flush of pink bloom on the tops of his cheeks. We can talk later. If you want. I'll be out there, watching TV. He grins again and looks down, almost bashfully. Then he strides out. And I'm left standing in the middle of this unfamiliar bedroom. Nose in the air like a cat searching for nip, so I can catch another addictive whiff of him. Charlotte King is the only woman I've ever loved. I knew it when I was 7, and she kissed me on the cheek. I knew it when I was 17 and kissed her full on the mouth, tongue and all. That had been my big moment, and I blew it. She was 15. I was going away to college in New York, filled with anticipation and bravado. I'd wanted to kiss her for a while and worked up the courage that night on the boardwalk through the ocean dunes. It was our first kiss on my last night in Florida. My dad interrupted us, and he later made me feel like I'd done something wrong. She's only 15, he said in a voice I'd never heard. Dad didn't usually get angry, but he sounded incredulous and pissed. You're going to college. By the time I was in my dorm room a week later, it hit me how young she was. And I felt ashamed, like I'd done something wrong. I was on my own, about to turn 18, a man. She was a girl. I assumed my feelings would fade with the years. They haven't. Now she's 21 and even more gorgeous. She still has that devilish glint in her eye, the one that always makes me think of endless possibilities. Of spontaneous road trips and beach bonfires and singing along to 80s music. I love her spark. She's not going through the motions like so many people. While I paced the living room of the cabin, I wonder if I should have stayed in Boston for Christmas, holed up in the library. But when Mom asked me to spend winter break here, I jumped at the chance. Even though I have papers to write and books to read. It was a chance to see her. To make things right. To see if my feelings for her were still there. They're here, all right. They came raging back the moment I laid eyes on her. Her spark has turned into a goddamned wildfire. I walk into the kitchen and yank open the fridge door, nervous. Maybe she'll want to eat. Now that we're in this mountain cabin alone, I'm not sure what to do. How to act. What to say. I've never been good with women. I had a few casual girlfriends in high school, nothing serious. Same with undergrad. Now that I'm in grad school, I've been trying. Even been on a few dates in the past couple of months. It's hard because my dad's kind of well known, and some women are attracted to me just for money. Or they've heard of my brother and assume I'm some playboy like him. And I've been so busy studying that I told myself that I didn't have time for anything serious. I need to focus if I want to someday take over Dad's company. It's all true. Sort of. Deep down, I've been waiting for her. Over the years, I've never forgotten how Charlotte made me feel. How easy she was to talk to. Her laughter. How her quirky, hippie clothes accentuated her classic beauty. What's up with that fluffy scarf she had on, anyway? It looked like someone sewed cotton candy around her neck. Still, she looked amazing. Growing up, my family would always visit the King family. Or they'd visit us. Vacations, weekends, trips to Disney. Charlotte was the highlight of every moment. She never cared that she was subtly different than other kids. And that made everyone want to be her friend. That could have made her stuck up. But she marched on to her own unusual beat and connected with everyone. Even me, the geeky Cuban kid who liked math. I even coined her nickname, Sharky. It was when I was about 8, and she was 6. She loved sharks. Adored them. Forced me to sit through Shark Week 3 years running, and Jaws 1, 2, and 3 when we were in middle school. So, because the first syllable of her name is pronounced Shar, I started calling her Sharky. Soon, everyone else did too. It's both adorable and fierce, 2 words that describe her perfectly. She's still so goddamned beautiful that it makes me ache. Her dark curls tumbling everywhere, a stunning contrast to her alabaster skin. Those sky blue eyes. Her smile. It's like angels sing in a chorus when she smiles. And how she's short, and how she has sexy curves, and. If I were like my older brother Alex, I'd be in bed with her right this second. He's a famous soccer player in Madrid who screws a different woman every night of the week. I'm more like Dad, who never forgot his first love. Never let go of my mom from the moment he met her, even though they were apart for a few years. His soul burned for her, he told me. Nothing would ever compare to her, he said. Not any model or actress. Not the moon or the stars. He told me all that recently, when we were out to dinner. Dad can be a bit dramatic. But as he told me stories about falling in love with Mom, I nodded. I knew what he was talking about. Charlotte has been written in my soul since birth. And now that we're alone together, it's time to tell her how I feel. I shut the fridge and open the freezer door. I spot a frozen vegetarian pizza. She always loved that. I'll start there. I sink onto the massive bed, flopping onto my back. Uff. It's way more comfortable than my dorm in Burlington. This is awkward, being around Oliver. Tense. I can't wait to see his sister. She's one of those effortlessly smart and cool girls. We'll drink coffee and Baileys and catch up. I hear the insistent buzz of my phone, and I roll over to the edge so I can dig into my purse. Mom. I say breathlessly. Are you there? I've been worried. Yeah, I made it. The place is pretty. And huge. I'm glad you like it. I searched for days trying to find a house that would fit all of us. Who else is coming? Leave it to me to pay attention now that I'm actually here with my 5 pieces of luggage. She sighs. Well, here's who was supposed to come. Your father and me. Sarah, Laura, and Christian, Kali and Sam. Raphael and Justine. Alba and Alex couldn't make it. Alba's on some research ship in the Gulf, and Alex has commitments with the soccer team. Hell, I mutter. I'm sorry. I know how you adore Alba. Oh, and Oliver. He's coming. Is he there? He was supposed to drive up from Boston earlier today. Yeah, about that. What, Sharky? When are you getting here? When is everyone else getting here? Have you heard? That's what I called to tell you. All flights are grounded because of this damn blizzard. Every last one. We no sooner got in the car when the pilot called. What does that mean? You're not coming. Oh, sweetheart. We are. We'll be there as soon as we can. Hopefully, we can get there tomorrow, so we'll all be together for Christmas Eve. Justine and Raphael are here to spend the night in hopes that we can get out tomorrow, and Sarah and Laura are stranded in Chicago. I tune my mom out as she talks in detail about the travel plans of everyone who's supposed to be here by now. But Mom, I interrupt, then lower my voice. I'll be here alone with him. With who? Who's there? Oliver. What? You've known him since you were born. Oh my God, did he do something weird to you? Was he creepy? I didn't think he was that kind of boy, man, but you never know. No, Mom. He's been super nice. He brought my bags in and everything. He wasn't creepy at all. Far from it. Okay, so what's the problem? I'm glad he's there, actually. Your father and I didn't like the idea of you being alone in that big house. But if you feel uncomfortable, we can try to find you a hotel. Although I don't like you driving in the dark in a storm. You're probably exhausted. Just stay in your room, and lock your door if you feel unsafe. I don't feel unsafe, I cry. Not at all. He's a gentleman. Aha. Okay. Tell me more. I can tell by her tone that the little matchmaking gears in her mind are turning. My entire life, Mom's tried to make love connections with everyone. It started with Uncle Colin, or so I was told by Aunt Sarah, and expanded to everyone in her path. No unattached person was safe. She even somehow paired the mayor of Orlando with the woman who cleans her bookstore. They've been married 5 years now. Tell me more, Sharky. Give it up. I fight back a grin. The older I get, the more I talk to Mom like she's my BFF. She used to write erotica, so absolutely nothing shocks her. I dunno. It's that he's changed. He's bigger. Muscular. More like a man. His voice is deep. When I last saw him, he was a boy. Like a geek. Well. I can hear the mirth in Mom's voice. I fail to see the problem. I guess I didn't tell you. We'd had a thing years ago. Well, not even a thing. A night. Okay, 5 minutes. I had a massive crush on him. Mom gasps. I thought you told me everything, Charlotte Marie King. I hope you use protection. When was it? She actually took me to Planned Parenthood for the pill a year after my kiss with Oliver. When I was 16. Just to be safe. We didn't have sex. It was a kiss. Okay, my first kiss. Well, not my first kiss, that was at 8th grade prom with. What's his name? The boy. With the cowlick. Only she can make me giggle with so few words. Right. Yes. Him. But Oliver was my first real kiss. At one time, I thought he was my first love, too. But I've never told anyone that, not even my mom. I suspect she knows, by the direction of this conversation. Interesting. My first French kiss. I was 15. It was at that party his family had that one summer. You remember. His going away to college party. Oliver was only 17, but because he was so smart, he'd gone to college a year early. Right. The one at their house on the beach. She draws out the last part of that word, and I know she wants me to tell her more. Yeah, that one. Really, it was nothing. It felt like something monumental at the time. Then we didn't really talk after that because he went to college. I assumed it was because he didn't want anything to do with a high school kid. Or maybe he wasn't that into me. It's not like I could even talk to him on social media because he's one of those weirdos that doesn't Snapchat or Instagram. Well, that explains a lot. Justine always said that he asked about you often. I always suspected he was attracted to you. The two of you were so close as children. How does she know these things? Everything was monumental back then, right? It just feels uncomfortable now. I dunno. Well, as long as you think you're safe with him, why don't you just relax and have a nice time? You probably have a lot in common still. You've been studying hard, and I'm sure he's been studying hard at his school. And you have such a shared history. It's sweet. I groan and flop around on the bed. Do you have condoms with you? Her voice is practically a whisper. Mom. I yelp. You should always be prepared. Yeah, of course I do. Not like I've had any reason to use them recently. All the guys at my school are into one thing, Tinder. Endless swiping. Never-ending text threads. Lukewarm hookups. Zero conversation. Sub-zero attraction. The allure of apps and hookups faded by the end of freshman year. Dating in college is such a grind. Not the good kind of grind, either. I don't have much hope that post-college dating's all that satisfying, either. So I've vowed to stay single until I'm 30. Or 40. Good girl. Listen, Justine and Raphael are here, and I don't want to be rude. I'm glad you're there safe. Call if you need me. I love you. I love you too. Oh, Mom. Yes, dear. Did you hear from the doctor? Her pause sends a spike of fear into my chest. No, I haven't. Maybe tomorrow. I'll call you when I do. Don't you worry, okay? Everything will be fine. Just relax and have fun with Oliver. I rub my lips together, trying not to burst into tears. Okay. I love you. Tell Dad I love him too. We make kiss-kiss noises and hang up. And I weep. It takes me a while to stop blubbering. Damn it, this is supposed to be vacation. It's the last winter break of my college years. I've got to get a grip. Mom doesn't want me to worry. The unknown is hella scary, though. Somehow, Mom's test result has plunged me into adulthood almost overnight. Or it feels that way. It's all so serious. I wasn't ready for this. But I guess no one ever is. I take a deep, shaky breath. This damned snowstorm isn't making things any better. I pull back the curtain and peer out. Holy Frosty the Snowman. The snow's blowing sideways in the night sky. My window overlooks the driveway and the parking area adjacent to the house. It's snowing so hard now my tire tracks have disappeared. In my 3.5 years at school in Vermont, I've never seen it snow this much. In past winter holidays, we've gone to Vail or Whistler or Tremblant. This is our first year in Vermont, and our first year staying in one house with more than just mom, dad, and me. Sighing, I grab my phone. I'm surprised to see a warning flash on my screen. Emergency alert blizzard warning in this area till 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Saturday. Prepare. Avoid travel. Check media. Damn. It must be a bad storm if the weather service or the government or whoever is sending out alerts for the next 18 hours. I'm grabbing the remote for the TV in my room when I pause. I've been in my room for a half hour. It's not cool to leave Oliver downstairs by himself. I need to at least hang out with him for a little while. I can't just sit in here and watch the Weather Channel by myself. Being offended about a minor brush off 6 years ago seems a bit dramatic, even for me. I'm an adult now. A woman. Someone who gives zero fucks about men and their games. Oliver's probably like the rest of them, anyway. How can he not be like his brother Alex? Who screwed 2 of my friends? That was a debacle. He'd slept with one on a Friday, another on a Saturday, when they visited Madrid a few years ago. The shit hit the fan on Sunday when they both realized what had happened. They'd all called me in the middle of the night to grouse. As kind as Alex is to me, he'd never dream of coming on to me, because he knows I'd never put up with his cavalier treatment of women. He's a fuckboy with a capital F. Oliver worships his older brother, or at least he did. So, he's probably picked up Alex's habits and attitudes toward women. And he's way too good-looking and rich to not be in hot demand by every woman with a pulse at MIT. I wash my face, add a long sweater layer to my boho outfit, apply lip gloss, kick my boots off, and respond to a bunch of texts from friends. Glancing in the mirror, I assess my outfit. Cute and appropriate for a ski vacation. Except for the stockings that stop about 2 inches above my knee, which means a few inches of thigh peek out. It looks a little too sexy without footwear. I dig in a bag, pull out my calf-high, white faux fur boots, and slip my feet in them. Checking myself in the mirror, I almost giggle out loud through my sniffles. The idea of hooking up with Oliver flits through my brain. I probably would, if he hadn't ghosted me when we were teens. And if I wasn't feeling so afraid for mom. So. The boots stay on. Oliver's in the kitchen when I go downstairs. He's in front of an open oven door, bent over slightly. I check out his ass for the 3rd time. Then I clear my throat because I feel a little too pervy. He notices me and shuts the door. Hey. You want pizza? It's meat-free. You're still vegetarian, right? I slide onto a high stool at the massive white granite kitchen island and set my phone in front of me. Yeah. Sounds good. How'd you remember? Found a bunch of pizzas in the freezer. I think your mom had them stocked. We have enough food and booze to last the winter. Well, at least we won't have to resort to cannibalism if we're stranded. He busts out laughing. I'm admiring the hint of stubble on his face when it dawns on me that he hasn't answered my question. He remembered I'm a vegetarian. Beer? He asks, pointing to the fridge. Why not? There's an awkward silence while he grabs the bottles out of the fridge and goes through every drawer looking for an opener. He hands me an open bottle, then clinks his to mine. Cheers. Cheers. Hey, I got this alert on my phone. It says this huge blizzard's going on till tomorrow. I wave my phone at him, and he grabs it. Yeah, I got the same one. Supposedly this is one of those 100-year storms. He pauses and taps on my phone. Nice screensaver. Where was it taken? My screensaver is mom and me. We're both in little black dresses. Thanks. That was in New York. My mom met me there for my 21st birthday. A grin spreads on his face. That's really cool. Spending your 21st birthday with your mom. Most people get obliterated at a frat party or club. We did get tipsy. I smile, recalling how we'd gone to the Algonquin, drank champagne, and looked for the resident hotel cat. And then I remember that I might not have any more weekends in New York with her. My eyes grow wet, and I shudder in a breath. You okay? He tilts his head. Yeah. God, this is so hard. No. His eyes grow round. What's wrong? Jesus, I'm falling apart in front of you within an hour of getting here. Sharky, we've known each other our whole lives. I know we haven't. Jesus, I'm falling apart in front of you within an hour of getting here. Sharky, we've known each other our whole lives. I know we haven't seen each other since high school. But tell me what's going on. So he is acknowledging, at least a little, our kiss. That's a start. Sorry. It's my mom. She had some weird test results last month. Health stuff. It's why she organized this whole vacation, this cabin, for everyone. For your parents, and dad, sister and brother. I think she's worried this will be her last Christmas. The words testing for breast cancer are never good. A fat tear rolls down my cheek. Oh, Sharky. God. I didn't know. I'm sorry. He rounds the island kitchen counter and puts his big hand on my back. Lord. He smells so good. What 23-year-old guy smells like fabric softener and freshly cut Florida grass? I swivel the chair into him, and in one fluid motion, he takes me in his arms. Oh. I like this. Too much. I wrap my arms around his neck. He's all muscle and comfort. Through my sadness, I feel flare of desire. The heat from his body is like a lit match pressed against my skin. Sadness and lust battle for control in my body. Not cool. I don't want him to think I'm a total mess, so I straighten my spine, which is his cue to back away. He does. That's a good sign that he understands my boundaries. Usually college turns good-looking guys into disrespectful dicks. I pray Oliver isn't a dick. I'm probably overreacting. She was supposed to get results today but didn't. Maybe tomorrow. I swivel away and reach for a napkin so I can dab my eyes. No, you're not. You're close to your mom. It's like me and my dad. When he got in that car crash, I thought I was going to lose it. Wait. I didn't know about that. When was it? Is he okay? It was in downtown Miami. Some idiot ran a red light. Dad was really lucky because it only clipped the back of his car. But they took him to the hospital anyway, and when my mom called and said something about internal injuries, I'd never been so afraid. I nod, staring at him through my wet lashes. So, you understand? Yeah. I do. You just need a distraction until you know what's going on with her. My breath hitches as we stare at each other. What's he suggesting, exactly? See, that makes you grin. I just need to entertain you until they get here. Get your mind off everything. I grin. There are many ways he can entertain me. Starting with those full lips of his. And those hands. I imagine them sliding down my ribcage and clutching my hips as he laughs. I laugh. The laughter fades. The awkward silent pause is back. Hoo boy. This is going to be an interesting night, me with graphic sex fantasies, not sugar plums, dancing through my head. So, about that blizzard. He takes a sip of his beer and eyes my cute furry boots. He quickly looks away, and his aura is suddenly aloof. Too much emotion for him, probably. I'm a lot to handle, at least that's what other guys have said. Yeah. That blizzard. Let's check the forecast. I fiddle with my phone and pretend to look at weather.com with a serious look on my face. Yep. It's going to snow for a while. I've never seen it like this in Vermont. He looks at me funny, probably because it's kind of ridiculous. It snows in Vermont. All the damn time. Sometimes from October to May. I turn back to the phone. This is an unprecedented storm. Then I remember that he called it a 100-year storm, and I shut up. Why am I so nervous around a guy I've known all my life? At least you wore the proper boots. He grins. Are you talking shit about my boots? He shrugs. You look a little like a woolly mammoth. I throw my balled-up napkin at him, and we laugh, the awkwardness evaporating into thin air. We spend the next few minutes talking about safe subjects: the weather, school, his sister, the weather again when I smell the distinct aroma of burn. Oliver? Yeah. I think the pizza's burning. Oh shit, he yells. When he opens the door, a cloud of smoke wafts out. It's not that burned. He dons an oven mitt. What is it about muscular men wearing oven mitts that's so sexy? And pulls out the pizza stone. He sets it on the granite-topped island in front of me, then slides the mitt off his hand. See, it's only burned on one side. He takes a round pizza cutter and, with more finesse than I'd expect, expertly slices it into 8 perfect pieces. I lean toward the pizza to inspect it. I'll take the burned piece. Nah, I'll eat it. It's my fault for being distracted. He turns his back and opens a cabinet. Distracted? I raise an eyebrow. Plates in hand, he returns to the pizza. What? The grin is back. Why were you distracted? Oh Christ, I sound way too flirtatious. He'll probably assume I'm throwing myself at him. He chuckles and scoops a non-burned piece and slides it onto a plate. Ah. I take the plate from him. Ah. This is awkward. He puts 2 charred pieces on his plate, tears off a piece of crust and crunches the blackened pizza. It must taste like hell. All the while looking at me with those beautiful eyes. I clear my throat and wriggle an arm out of my sweater. That fire's pretty warm. Really heats the whole house. So. Why is it awkward? Why were you distracted? He swallows, and the side of his mouth quirks up. Not trying to be creepy or anything, but you look different than you used to. I slow my chewing. He totally thinks I'm a freak or something. I wipe my mouth with a napkin. What do you mean by that? How'd I used to look? He shakes his head, laughing. Don't get paranoid. You used to be cute. Now you're. I'm what? I pick up my pizza slice and smile at it. This is fun, flirting with a guy in person and not through a stupid cell phone. You're gorgeous now. Even with the woolly mammoth boots. His voice lowers just a touch, and if I was warm before, I'm breaking out in a sweat now. Especially with the woolly mammoth boots. His voice is genuine and tinged with desire. His smile tugs at that secret place inside of me. Score 1 for the furry boots.